All right, welcome everybody to the video. I got a fun one I'd like to talk about. This is going to be geared towards people who have never really consistently finished in the top 10 in Arena. I don't know how, common this knowledge is, but I think it could be fun to talk about. Let's get into it. We're going to discuss, what happens when you start finishing first on a regular basis in Arena. What changes in the game for you, and I will give you some tips at the end of the video on how to kind of improve your chances of finishing at a higher rank. So you finally built up that awesome fleet. You have that new shiny galactic legend. You've kind of charged up the rankings, and now you're hitting first place in your arena. But you find it almost feels like you're targeted. You're getting knocked down a couple rungs every hour consistently. It's hard to stay up there. It's becoming a grind, and it's no accident. Most Shards for Arena and Fleet will have a Discord server, and the people in that Discord server are the ones who have been consistently finishing in that top 10 for a long time. And what they do is they protect that number one payout. So there's 24 hours in the day, so that means you got 24 payouts throughout the day, and there are people assigned to those payouts. Those people have grown accustomed to receiving those juicy first place rewards without much interference. So when you come climbing up the boards and you start hammering someone in their payout when they've just had the last year easy breezy, have not had to worry about anyone knocking them off their spot, people might tend to get pissed. And it's not that they're mean or they're very selfish trying to protect everything. A little bit of that might be going on, but they've just become accustomed to these easy rewards, and that's like they feel like we've earned this in-game currency because we've fought to the top and we've consistently stayed there. We haven't fallen out. So that's kind of how it works. Once you're the newbie in the ocean, when I start my climb, if I have a choice to say go up 5 places and take out someone in my Discord, or I have a chance to go up, say, 3 places and take out someone who's not, we're always going to climb off the backs of the new people. So that's why you're constantly falling out very quickly out of the top 10, top 20 even, depending on how big the shard is. So my experience when I was first charging up the boards and I was getting in that top 10, I was knocking on the door all the time. I was content with not even getting top 5. Like if I got top 5, I'd be thrilled. But I was top 10 consistently. And then I get after a couple months of that, I get an in-game message asking me to join the Discord server for my fleet shard. And I had said no. Wasn't interested. I wasn't using Discord at the time. I didn't see the point of it. And then I continued to do my thing, and then the negotiator meta came out, and I was struggling to climb. Luckily, I had the person who had reached out before reached out a second time, asked if I wanted to join, and I said, was asking like, what's the benefits and stuff like that, and they had mentioned, we can, help you maintain your rankings and stuff like that. So I was intrigued, so I joined, and I'm glad I did, because what ended up happening is the person I trailed in my payouts, so who I was climbing up after, once they were in first, I didn't have any fleet that could even beat them, and they were extremely nice. And what they did was they would, after they took first, got their payout, they would have say 2 or 3 battles left, they would put in a weaker fleet, allow me to beat them, take first on my own for my payout, and then I would obviously get knocked down, but they would consistently do this for me until I built up a fleet strong enough to start challenging, for first on my own without having to do that. I don't think that arrangement would have lasted forever, but they did it for the first little bit while the meta was first fresh, realizing not everyone's going to be able to get these meta ships, day one. There's some definitely nice camaraderie in there, like allowing everyone to get the top rewards possible. Other benefits in addition to the fleet weakening, as I kind of mentioned before, is when people climb to their payouts. If they can, they will avoid you on your climb. So you don't fall as far as you normally would do. So now looking from your Fleet Shard Discord outwards towards new people, whenever there's a new people, kind of charging up, a new person who we're not seeing and they're hitting us, they immediately go kind of on the radar, and you literally are public enemy number one. People who aren't even climbing will hit you just to keep you out. Part of that's to break your will a little bit, to help to get you to stop always knocking on the door up there and messing with people's payouts. But what I will say is persistence definitely pays off, and if you're able to do it all on your own, keep challenging, some top spots, you will get the invite to the shard, because it is more beneficial to work with you than try to work against you. Because once you get in, we can give you your own payout. We could coordinate you getting first, and it's just much, much more simpler that way. It probably seems like a given you want to get into the Discord server, but it's not always the case. As I said, I resisted at first, and even in my shard right now, we have multiple people who are constantly knocking people off their payouts, and we have sent in-game messages, and we either get rude responses, no responses at all. So they're not everyone's into it. Like, a lot of people are resistant to it. So if you do find yourself in this situation, I would definitely recommend, accepting the invitation if you get one. All right, so as promised, here are some tips to deal with going up against a coordinated, Discord server that's managing your fleet shard when you're not in it. Tip number 1, climb during your payout. Okay, you got your 5 battles. Say your payout's at 8 o'clock at night. Start climbing at 7. Okay. By getting all those battles during that 1 hour period, you're going to interfere with a lot less people, so people might not actively be trying to climb over you at that time. Number 2, in the same vein, find out if you share a payout with someone. So are you consistently challenging for the same spot, every day during your payout? Are you getting knocked out by the same person, or do you have to always keep hitting the same person? There is a good chance that person is sharing your payout with you. So once you know who you're sharing that payout with, that one person is likely going to be pissed that you're always knocking them off, but there's nothing you can do until they invite you in. So what you can do in game, say there's 10-15 minutes left to your payout, you're sitting in the position kind of underneath the person above you, right? Wait until, 5 minutes left and then start that battle. So if you do win, take their spot. There's not enough time for them to beat you back again. The second thing you can do is, if you're sitting in that pole position and you know that person who shares the payout with you, you can see them climbing and they're in a spot where they can hit you. Wait till like maybe 7-8 minutes left in your payout, start a battle against someone and just let it time out. That means you're occupied, the person can't actively target you, and then they're going to have to time it exactly right for when your battle ends. And if they do, they might only have 2 minutes left to complete it before the payout ends. So if you do it at that 7-8 minute mark, you're almost guaranteed to lock down those last 8 minutes and no one will be able to pass you. And the last thing you can do, I didn't know anything about this at the time, which is why I had to wait for an invite. But if you do notice, someone's always in first and you might share a payout with that person, maybe reach out to them in game. Be like, yo, I think I'm hitting you during your payout. Can I get invited in? Can we coordinate? I'll change my payout if I come in, all that kind of stuff. And they're probably pretty amicable to that, and you might get the early invite in. That way everyone's happy, everyone gets their guaranteed rewards. So let me know if your arena shard is doing anything cool and innovative that helps, everyone get those payouts nice and easy, or essentially maybe protect people from new people moving up. Because as we know, especially in Fleet Arena, the meta's been around for a long time. There are tons of negotiators and malevolences now. Someone who has a negotiator in 100 could easily climb to first. So it must be getting kind of harder day by day in managing everyone's payouts at the top. All right, so if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.